Get the book mixed. You have the Mexican Pyramid. Thanks to Lex Will for just bringing this book up in his videos. I got it, and it's answered a lot of questions, and it's taught me a lot of things. And check that out. The Joshua tree, named after the by the Mormons, by the Joshua trees, all in California's desert there, in the Arizona desert. I want to show you this. It's called the cacao, right? And the Aztecs wrote about this, saying that this plant right here, if you take it and turn it into a powder substance, the seeds, and you crush them into a powdery substance, and then put it in water and boil it and drink it as a tea, it actually will allow you to be full for at least 3 days. You can go around feeling full, and you don't have to worry about eating. This page here tells about how they would cross the deserts, and they would do this before they would cross it. So I thought that was interesting. It's on page 31. I wanted to show you this as well. This is some of the things in the Aztecs temples. Obviously, the gods that they weren't supposed to worship. But I caught this one right here out of the corner of my eye. The goat that's standing up. Come on, where have we seen that before, right? It was like the god of the underworld. So, and I wanted to jump ahead here. Some of the images that they put in the book. They even talk about an Uncle Sam in this book, right? Here it is. There it is depicted. Now check this out, right? My wife and I were looking at this, and tell me if this doesn't remind you of a drawing of the Assyrians or a Babylonian. Look at those shoes. The way they're curled like that. Somewhere from the Middle East. Look at it. The belt looks like it has grapes on it. And what really gave it away is their beards. Look at the way they braided their beards in the back of their hair there. You see that nose? It even talks about the hooked nose, and so on and so forth, and the beards of the non-Indian people. See? I hope it comes out clear. I can't tell if it is or not. Alright. And they say this is like the image of some of the Semitic people. But I think that's really trickery right there. I could be wrong. But it looks like one of the outfits that the high priest would have wore, with all the jewels and stones on it for the 12 tribes and all that. And check this out. It also talks about the Chaldeans having the records of the stars going about X amount of years. And meanwhile, the Babylonians kept the records of the horoscopes and all the names of the children that were born and their travels back and forth to the Americas, Lucifer and all that it talks about here. So I just thought that was interesting. And I wanted to skip ahead to chapter 26, Church Word. It's page 364, right? Because he says something I thought was interesting. And it reads, Churchwood said that when he compared the writings of the old civilizations with the legends of Mu, he established to his satisfaction that the civilizations of the early Greeks, Chaldeans, Babylonians, Persians, Egyptians, and Hindus all derived from the civilization of Mu. As for the Israelites, he says that when they were captive in Babylon, they were able to study in the colleges of the Chals, or Chaldeans, where they learned the common science. The Chals, says church word, were open and free to all who wished to come to them for learning. There was no exception to the student, expense. There was no expense to the student and the slave as was as welcomed as the prince. Let's see here. see. Do I want to go on this? Yeah, because I think I highlighted the next page. Directly, the threshold of the child was past everyone. Everyone was on an equal. They were symbolically at the feet, at the foot of the heavenly fathers, and became, in fact, brothers in truth. It gives us own little maps of, Mu and Atlantis and all that. So, there's Mu there. Anyways, yeah. The Israelites, although in bondage, attended the childs and became masters. A secondary line in Churchwood's scheme ran from Mu to the Malay Islands and thus to southern India, called Derive, I think it is, and from India to Africa, where they settled south of Nubia, becoming the ancestors of the Ethiopians. So, and it just goes on from there. There's a lot of information. I've listened to the church words. This gentleman right here, I've listened to his grandson, who took over his studies and has furthered them, but he doesn't ever mention the Israelites having a connection to Africa, so, or to the Ethiopians, like Amos 9 and 7, King James Bible, where it states, "Were you not like the Ethiopians unto me?" So, I'm sorry if I murdered all that reading. I'm not the greatest reader out loud, so forgive me for that, but I just want to get this out there so maybe somebody that can do it a lot better than I can break this book down and bring forth more information, because I feel like it's important and it will help us, especially us that know that the Americas was the promised land, that the holy city was in Mexico, and Mount Zion is in South America. So, like I've come to believe, the Spanish have the Negro writings. Anyways, peace out, everyone.